Hi. So we have a question from Natalie, who's taken my course on selling with stories. And she asks, short question this one, are case studies actually just business stories? I'm grateful for this question because I think I kind of allude to case studies in my course on selling with stories, but I don't think I give them much attention. So here's my opportunity to make up for that. Yes, case studies are business stories. Whether or not they're particularly good business stories is what we're going to explore right now. So for those of you who are not familiar with a case study, these have been around forever. These were around pre-web as kind of printed pieces of material. Now they're usually available, downloadable as PDFs, including text, images, charts, and sometimes embedded videos. What's it for? What does it do? Well, let me give you an example. Let's say I have a business and I make widgets, and my audience is trucking companies, and my widget helps reduce their fuel costs. They install the widget in the fuel line, and by some special widget magic, the fuel costs go down. So I want to sell lots of my widgets. So what I do is I find a existing customer, a happy customer, and I go to them and say, hey, I would like to interview you, or a member of my staff would like to interview you, and we would like to write up a case study of your experience with our widget and how it helped you. And then we would like to print that. We'd like to create a case study out of that to show to prospective customers. And if I'm lucky, then that existing customer will say, yes, by all means, let's go for it. And now we're ready to create our case study, which is, hey, it could be 2 pages, could be 20 pages. So a case study structure is in some senses similar to a story structure, insofar as first we're going to create our setting, the widget company and the trucking company and the situation. Then we're going to have a challenge, which is that the trucking company has these large fuel costs and it's threatening their margins and threatening the future of their business. So there's the challenge to be overcome, kind of classic story element. Then along comes the hero, the widget. We install the widget, the fuel costs go down, the margins improve, and the future looks rosy for the trucking company, and we have a happy ending. So that is pretty much the structure of most case studies. So yes, it's a story structure. Is it a very good story structure? The problem with it is it tends to be very predictable. We know as soon as we start reading the case study that we're going to have a situation and a challenge that a product or service is going to solve, and that there's going to be a happy ending. So it's blah, 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 happy ending. Because every case study has a happy ending, because otherwise they wouldn't publish it, they wouldn't share it, we'd never get to see it or read it. So, Natalie, yes, I mean, if you're writing case studies, if that's why you asked the question, yes, it is a story. But I would encourage you to actually incorporate some of the elements of a good story, of a better story. And as I've mentioned this in previous videos, is that a good story tends to have elements that are unexpected. There tends to be tension, so that the outcome is not automatic, that there are some bumps and surprises and unexpected turns along the way. So maybe in that case I just described, the CEO of the trucking company says, hey, you had us worried for a while because the first 3 widgets that we installed failed in the first 12 hours. And in fact, one of them damaged one of our trucks. So unexpected, like counterintuitive, a bit of an extra challenge to be met. Or maybe the president of the trucking company says, frankly, I was terrified. So again, an unexpected thing for the president to say, because very often you will get these little mini interviews within a case study, and they tend to read a little bit like the interviews you find, the quotes you find in a press release. In other words, again, it's more blah, blah, blah. So I'm rambling a bit, Natalie, but I want to help you here. Yes, a case study is a story. Most case studies are very boring stories. So if you are doing this, I would encourage you to introduce better story elements, like more tension, more unexpected twists and turns, more barriers to be overcome. So that yes, you'll still have a happy ending, but it's an interesting story along the way. Okay, I hope that helps. Thanks.